Hello everyone! Today we are going to talk about your relationship with your mom. So if this conversation is for you, just stay tuned for this. We are going to talk about the relationship between mother and child and the perspective where you're the child and in relation to your mother. I know that many have mother issues coming up at the moment where they feel that they are annoyed by their mothers, annoyed by their own behavior and the patterns that they keep recreating in their own lives. They might feel nervous system reactions and so on and so forth coming up. So we're just gonna go into that. And I can say it's gonna be a judgment-free zone, it's gonna be a blame-free zone. No blame of your mother, because I know that all of you who are here with me or most of you have a deep feeling of connectedness with your mother, or you love your mother. Maybe some of you can't feel that right now, but that is also what we're going to talk a bit about in this video, why we cannot always feel the love for our mother, because from a higher place, from the soul level, we are a team. We have a really strong connection with the souls that we incarnate with. And from that place, there's only love. That doesn't mean that we have to go around and loving on them and we be there for them always. Sometimes love looks very different. It looks like taking the distance. But let's talk more about that. So, yes, through the years, I had really a lot of clients, adult clients, where they had this a bit problematic relationship with their mother. They would feel a lot of the things that she's feeling, and they would feel the resistance. And also through my work with the children and parents, I also have really been studying this relationship between mother and child and what it is that's happening in the first years, and why we can really have this sensitivity around our mothers, these strong reactions. And also in myself, I can say I've really studied it greatly. I have really a strong sensitivity myself, so this has really been an important piece of my work, integration work. It is within my own body, and I can say that for most we integrate it because we want to be able to master this, and we can look at it that way with our children and with ourselves and with our mother. So just take a deep breath and become ready for this sharing and this exploration of what is really occurring between mother and child. So I hear from some of you that it might be like these patterns that you have really difficulty stopping. And I also hear from many of you that you feel really greatly overwhelmed when you're with your mothers, or when you're going to see your mothers, or only sometimes when you're with your mother, and there might not be much of a relationship with your mother, but that if you have children, you feel that you have to see your mother, you have to spend time with her, and it feels greatly overwhelming. I hear from some of you it can feel like a sacrifice. You're sacrificing yourself to have your children be connected and getting to know their grandmothers. And I have some recommendations around that I will share later on in this video. And it's important to understand that there's no need for sacrifices when we are working with the higher energies and the higher realms. We can just shift perspective and see what is true for us, and there's never any mom blame or mom judgment if you choose to do something different. Maybe you remember your relationship with your own grandparents, that was actually not necessary that your mom was present. If it felt safe to be with them, it would be greatly enjoyable just to be around them without your mom. So it's not necessary that you sacrifice yourself in any way, but that will be specific for each one of you. Okay, so to the really fundamentals of this, and I'm just gonna take my time explaining this, and it might make sense to you and it might be difficult to understand, but just tap in with the energies and just feel it in your body. Maybe this is going to help you to understand what's going on in your relationship. Maybe you need a private session to really come into understanding what is happening in your relationship with your mother, and how can you help yourself to calm down. So many of you are greatly sensitive as myself, either in your emotions, feel it inside of you, or by what you're seeing. That is not so common. I've felt some children lately that have been really able to see through emotional layers with their side rather than with their bodies. So, but for many of you that I'm connected with and have as clients, you feel a lot in your body. So when we come in, when we incarnate in this child's body, in this baby that we're becoming, this human, there's already integrated like a nervous system. You can also say there's programming present in this little body. There are family traumas that is stored in the DNA. We call it epigenetics in the biology. I was a biologist before, for those who doesn't know. And I guess I still am. But now mainly with the focus on the healing and the energy, studying the energies. So it's already stored within the body. We can change what is stored within the body, but this is what is present when you come into the body. There's already this sort of memory, and the reason there is this, it's meant to really assist you in the first years of coming into a human life, learning things faster, learning what is good to do and what is dangerous to do. But this system is overreactive in the way, if it's benefiting us, you can say it helps us to really dive into the denseness. Sorry, I'm just going to correct this. It helps us to really dive into the denseness, but let's not go too much into that. So we're coming into this body, and there are these let's say trigger points. There is the storage. And many of them needs to be triggered in order for us to really feel them in our body. So we can go through our life without knowing these reactions and trauma from our family because we never get them triggered. And some children, like maybe you are very sensitive, you will have triggered them in you and you will feel them very clearly. So when we come into this world, we're birthed, our mother is often the one we are very connected to in the beginning, and we start to you can say it's like you synchronize her system with her, your way of reacting, your way of sensing, your way of feeling. You're learning through her. You can say you're simulating her experience inside of you to really integrate and learn what it means to be a human in a physical experience. So you start to run her memories through your nervous system, through your body, and in that way learn how is it a good way to be reacting and be sensing in this human experience. And what that means is that if your mother have a lot of sensitivity herself, a lot of reactions, you will start feeling that in your body. And depending on your level of sensitivity, you will feel this more or less. But many of those who I work with have a lot of sensitivity. So in the beginning, it's just this direct transmission. You're just synchronizing your system with her, and just feeling the same and being the same and really learning what it means to be a human. What comes later on, what you will feel later on, is that you can have the reaction where you follow her system, she gets nervous, you get nervous. Then there can be this later on, this resistance to the reaction, either within yourself, she gets nervous, you resist the emotion inside of you and you push against it. And you might feel tenseness, or you might feel aggression inside of you. You might feel something completely different inside of you, because it's the push against what you have felt in you. You don't want to feel that nervousness. It doesn't feel aligned to you. Or you don't want it to take up space. So instead you have the anger maybe, but that can take up the space in the same way. What then often happens later on is that we try to push against our mother. So if she gets nervous, you feel her nervous reaction in your body, you push against her and try to make her stop. You try to change her and say, this is not okay, you simply need to change your behavior so I can be okay. And as we know, when we work with this, that doesn't work very well. We cannot go out and say to another, you have to change so I can feel good. We are simply asked to come back in. And it's not about if it's okay to say that or not okay. It's not about that at all. So come back if you feel like, but I want her to stop. Come back here to the moment. Energetically, you cannot do it. It's not about if it's okay or not. It's about your level of mastery is inside of you. So energetically, it doesn't work. So take all the judgment, all the blame away. There is a reason why it doesn't work, and it's simply because where your mastery is in here. So your mastery lies within this space. When she gets nervous, you maintain your calmness. That is how it works. When you maintain your calmness, you allow her to shift and change. So it's this way where we can sometimes be like, oh, why couldn't it just be that she stops being that and I can be okay? But it simply doesn't work like that. We need to come back into our inner space and really allow our peace and calm in here, and really allow the reset of our system, so our energy system and our reaction is not tied to our mother's behavior. And have I gone through this process myself? Yes, I have. Have I been very reactive to my mom's nervous system? Yes, I have. So she had an experience where she had been triggered very much in her survival response early in life. So I felt this very clearly. And I want to point out one thing here that is not related to this specific experience, but I see this broadly. We can also have this behavior where we start to adjust our behavior all the time. So we're in ourselves measuring, how is my mom doing? How is my mom doing now? How is my mom doing now? What do I need to do to make her feel better? And that is, I see in many children, in smaller or larger degree, but I see it in adults as well. So we keep doing that through our adult years if we don't stop ourselves in that behavior. Like we keep we're like this measurement tool that keep tuning in with her frequency. And if I say that, how does she feel? And if I do that, how does she feel? And what do I need to say or do now to make her feel the best? And that also comes from our childhood, how could we make her feel the best so we could feel safe? And that is completely common, and I know we have now a lot of information in this video, but I know that it's important for some of you right now. I also want to add one last thing to those of you who have a very problematic relationship with your mom. I can feel like for some, it's actually the nervous system have been triggered so greatly that it in you have felt like this matter of life and death, that being with your mom could actually feel dangerous to your body. But this whole mechanic thing about you need her in order to feel safe, or you need her in order to be alive, had caused this really big, you can say this really dilemma inside of you that is like, okay, I feel in danger when I'm with my mom. Sometimes I feel that she is a danger to me. My nervous system tells me that, but still I feel I need her in order to be safe in this world. And that's why we can have this feeling like, I don't love my mom. I hate my mom. I don't want to be with my mom. She's awful. I don't want to see her. You can have this to a lesser degree, and understand that it's your nervous system speaking. It's your nervous system saying that she's a danger to you, and that's completely okay not to be close to her. And that is also what I'm going to go into later, like what can you do to help yourself in this situation. But understand that you can just let that go, so you don't have to run this actively in your body. The danger and the hate or the resistance toward her, you can come into a new space where it's like, oh, I understand my nervous system, my body thought I was in great danger. I'm still alive now here, now I'm the adult, now I'm my mother. I can be safe in this moment, and I don't have to worry about what happened. I don't have to worry about what she did or who she was or how she's doing right now. I can just be in my own body. So I hope it makes sense to all of you. These are the main patterns I see, and the main mechanics in our energy system that I want to address in this video. What I want to say then is, there is a way to really move through this and come out on the other side and feel that you're actually loving your mother from one place. Doesn't have to be in the physical. You don't have to see her. She doesn't have to be alive anymore in order for you to reestablish this loving relationship. But she's representing an aspect of you. So when you allow yourself to love her, you allow yourself to love this aspect of you inside of you. It can help you, if you're a mother yourself, to have this relaxing to your system. Come into this space. And what I can say is, like, the main thing you need to do is to respect your own nervous system reactions. If you're feeling that there's a lot of things happening when you're with your mom in this time, because there's a lot of clearing happening in this time, come in and feel, what do I need? Do I need time for myself and just a reset? Allow yourself to have that reset, because as I mentioned, is I have a lot saying, oh, but she's my mom, I cannot not see her. Yes, you can. And you can also communicate it to her that it has nothing to do with her. That is your nervous system. You simply need to establish some new patterns in you, and that you love her, that you adore her, and that you are going to do this for you, for both of you. To come into a new relationship where you can see her for who she is and love her unconditionally, no matter her ups and downs. She might not even need to do that. You might become a role model for her when you allow yourself to do that, maybe with her own mom, and say, I need the time to come in and just allow my nervous system to reset and come into the feeling that I'm my main person, that I'm the one that I need in order to feel safe, that it's no longer you I need, it's me. I need myself to be in balance. I don't need you to be in balance in order for me to be okay. I need me to be in balance in order for me to be okay. And can you feel that shift, like you put it out on her and to say, my well-being depends on you, and you take that responsibility off her shoulders, you put it back on you and say, okay, it's me who have to be in balance. I'm my own mom. I don't have to have this anger out here. And anger, like in when you're selling an anger, not the anger. You have it placed back in you, and then you can move on from there, and you can communicate it. And if she doesn't understand, it's completely okay. You need to let that go, because that's a dynamic too, that you had to show up for her or be there for her in order for her to feel okay. And that's also an anchor she's placing in you, that you need to be okay in order for her to be okay. And it works that way too. You will probably know that if you have children, that you often feel that they need to be at their best in order for you. There's a lot of nerves that are nervous system reaction connected in that way too, and it doesn't help your child to be nervous or anxious about how they're doing. It helps for them to have your anchor placed inside of you and your own well-being, so you can show up in your balanced self. So that is the main thing. I would also just advise you to really tune in with yourself and feel, what do you need? I have my sessions. I can always help. I'm off in July, but now here I have a few spots left, only a few next week, but 1 or 2. So connect with me if you feel this is coming up in you really strongly. I'm back in August. You can always also ask me there. And what I more want to say is actually that we have our Divine Child Healers program. And though you might not be a parent yourself, but if you're interested in these dynamics between parents and child, mother and child, and how this whole energy dynamics are working that I've just described in these emails, if this is like that lights you up to really get to understand what is happening inside these parent-child relationship, what is happening energetically, because as you can feel, or as I hope you can feel, the judgment is taking off, the blame is going away, when we're really looking at how does it actually work on an energetic level. But connect with me either if you want to schedule a session, or if you want to know more about our Healers program that we have coming up in the end of August, so there's still some time. Okay, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it helped you. We are going into the summer holidays where you might want to spend time with your family. Remember to give your nervous system the space and the rest that it needs. I'm wishing you all a beautiful day. Bye bye everyone.